All right, top of the hour, let's get you the updates where the Supreme Court appointed panel has made a massive disclosure via its report on farm laws. Now, the panel, which was the one interacting with at least 73 the farmer union bodies, has revealed that 86% of those farmer organizations had backed the farm laws, while there were only 13% of those bodies that were opposing the farm laws that were put across by the Modi government.
Right, a massive disclosure that has come in. The committee has also recommended revisiting of the MSP policy and discontinuation of the open-ended procurement, citing bulging central pool stocks. So this is a massive farm law disclosure. Of course, the Modi government had a lot of support from the Kisans, the farmers, and this was a law that the Supreme Court had kept under wraps.
Why did you write to the Chief Justice thrice?
It's just because we respect the Honorable Supreme Court, and if they had done it, it would have got a better coverage. Its implication would have been better. So we thought that it should have been done by the Supreme Court. So whatever the consequences, I am ready to bear. Whatever the consequences, I'll have to bear. Now, I am used to going in jail. Many times I had been there. So maybe one more time I'll go. After we publish the discussion paper and we make the final draft, then we'll go around the country and educate the people about the reforms. And those who support the reforms, they will come to Delhi, and I'm planning to bring at least 1 lakh farmers to Delhi.
All right, so we have Harish and Priyank both joining us live this morning. Good morning to both of you. Harish, सबसे पहले आते हुए तो ये जो पैनल की रिपोर्ट है, ये आखिरकार सामने आकर क्या कह रही है कि जहां तक मेजॉरिटी ऑफ दोस फार्मर यूनियन बॉडीज थे, क्या वो आखिरकार सपोर्ट में थे फार्मर लॉज के, तो फिर सरकार को उनको मजबूरन वापस क्यों लेना पड़ा?
Yes, remember on November 19 last year, Prime Minister withdrew the 3 farm laws, saying that the government failed to convince a section of the farmers about the benefits of the reforms. But the Supreme Court Farm Law Committee's report, made public by a member, Anil Ghanwat, for the first time since it was submitted to the apex court a year ago. It was published yesterday, says majority farm unions with whom the committee interacted, that is around 85% support the farm laws, and the panel said scrapping, repeal or a long suspension of the laws would be unfair to this silent majority. And on the demand of legalizing the MSP, the report said it is not based on sound logic and is infeasible to implement. So what is important, the biggest takeaway is that majority farmer unions supported the act. As per the what Anil Ghanwat told Times now, the committee had extended invitation to 266 farmer organizations, including ones agitating at the borders. The committee interacted with 73 farmer organizations representing more than 3.83 crore farmers. And what is important is that of these 73, 61 farmer organizations representing 3.3 crore farmers fully supported the acts. So they are a majority, constituting 85.7% of the total farmers. But 4 farmer organizations representing 51 lakh farmers did not support the act. Right. Another 7 farmer organizations representing 3.6 lakh farmers supported the act with some suggestions or modifications. So this is a very, very big disclosure coming in from the Farm Laws Committee report that
Okay, all right. We also have BJP's Shehzad Poonawalla who's joining us over the phone line. Shehzad, thank you for joining us. First up, how would you react to this massive disclosure that has come in that 87% of the farmers had agreed to the farm laws? All right, we'll get back to Shehzad Poonawalla there, but let me go across to Priyank. Priyank, you know, this had been one contention. On one hand, Modi government, in fact, Prime Minister Modi himself had also spoken about how these laws would benefit small-time farmers. He has mentioned that time and again, but finally it seemed like the government had buckled under pressure and had withdrawn the farm laws. Now, after this disclosure, is there a need for the government to now relook?
Certainly, but put last week Farmers Product and the Trade Commerce Act 2020 and the Farmer Empowerment Act and the Agreement Price Act 2020. So what the committee has suggested that the government was unable to give the real picture to these farmers, and the committee report is also comprising about that how politicization of these TV Act was done, and the farmers were threatened that this will certainly result to the MSP. And they have also named a very particular farmer union leaders who were taking the charge at that particular time, and coming under pressure, the government had to deal. But the big question is that since this particular committee was formed in the month of January 2021, and the report was submitted to the Apex Court on 19th of March 2021, why this report was not made public? There was a few factors which would have given a clear picture to the farmers. But the manner in which the SKM, the Sanयुkt Kisan Morcha, was also questioning the credibility of this particular committee, it was also not feasible for the government also to come out with this kind of report, because everything was being questioned. The good laws were questioned. The committee which was formed by the government was questioned. Every act of the government was questioned with a very clear motive that
Right.
the farmer union wanted to put a pressure on the central government so that the government should bow down on the knees of these farmer unions, which eventually happened because the laws were taken back. Now the big question is that whether this kind of delay had caused the life of, has taken the life of so many individuals, so many farmers who stood on the ground on the borders of the national capital, and during the agitation, around 700 farmers lost their life. So the big question is that if the farmers would have been suggested and given a clear picture at that particular time, whether these lives could have been lost, whether the source of money which was lost by these businessmen who were sitting on these Delhi borders could have been saved. These are the
तो
basic factors.
सवाल प्रियंक और हरीश, सवाल अभी भी यही उठता है कि अगर ये रिपोर्ट रेडी थी तो उसको सामने पब्लिक में पहले क्यों नहीं रखा गया, और ऐसी नौबत क्यों आई, ऐसा वक्त क्यों आया कि सरकार को खुद ही प्रधानमंत्री को सामने आकर बोलना पड़ा कि गलती हो गई और हम जितने फार्मर्स हैं हम अपना आउटरीच प्रोग्राम को और बढ़ाएंगे, क्योंकि उनके फायदे के लिए जो लॉस थी वो लाई गई थी। और जहां तक अगर पार्लियामेंट में बात करें तो वहां पे यूनियन एग्रीकल्चर मिनिस्टर ने ये भरोसा दिलाया था कि आने वाले वक्त में फार्म लॉस को दोबारा इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं किया जाएगा। Thanks very much both of you for joining us here.